Narayan is the worst best student. No. Narayan's the only one with an excuse to be the last on the floor. All right, so I will not go into the song. Let's do re mi so fa fa go. I'm going to read out. This is a beautifully titled. I think I told you with something else that my filing cabinet spewed out at me when I was looking at ways of thinking about teaching ATM, teaching people how to teach ATM. I think I said to you, it's called Inventory of Common ATM Teaching Mistakes, which is not an entirely Feldenkrais way of putting it, because the word mistake is, we've deconstructed it. It's a mistake. And it's a learning opportunity. And we mean that. You can say that as a sort of a throwaway line, can't you? That we don't vilify mistakes and really welcome them. Or we really do. We really do find them curious and interesting. And we're working towards that. Do I learn from them? Sometimes. I do both. Sometimes I repeat them and they're even better. We pretend that they don't happen, Jenny. Yes. Ah, yes. Will they happen again? And then we get bored with them. Yes, I think one of the mistake that I repeat is that leaving my preparation to the last minute. And I repeated that this time, and I will take that learning into the next time that I leave my preparation to the last minute. However, having said that, that's seriously a habit of a lifetime for me. And I think I said to you that actually at work, I now startle the staff that I work with every now and again by saying, I prepared one of those earlier, and they go, wow, because they're not used to me being all ready. So I am a work in progress. Okay, so lie on your back, and I'm going to read out some of these items on the inventory, and you are going to experience why that might be viewed as a mistake. So bend your knees up and take your knees to the left and the right. As you move your legs, your pelvis moves against the floor. You feel your ribs move, and you feel the movement involving your neck and your head. So forth. All right, not so forth. That's just me being stupid. So, and I kind of threw away the lines, so that was not very good. You'd be irked by the delivery. It was a bit flip. But that aside, what was your sense about the language in that? Prescriptive. So Julie has seen my notes because the title for that, yes, the title for that was Prescriptive Instructions. I told you exactly what was going to happen. Even if it wasn't happening for you, I prescribed it. And prescriptive in that sense is a good word, because you go to the doctor and he or she prescribes you something. They tell you what to do. And as you told me yesterday, this is a process of self-discovery, whatever. It's not up to me to prescribe to you. I can lead you towards areas to pay attention to, but it's not up to me to prescribe what you're feeling. You may feel this, you may feel that, or Emma's point really early in the week was you could frame it as a question. What do you notice in your pelvis? So yeah, the example here is as you move your legs, what happens at your pelvis? Notice any influence in your ribs. or simply, you know, notice what else is involved in the movement. Something like that. Okay, so is that kind of clear? This sort of prescriptive. It's very maternal / paternal. You know, it's parents telling the kid what to do, what's going to happen. Okay, another one. Cross one leg over the other, move them to the side. Yeah, how do you interpret that? Oh, and you are really bad students because you've all done something different. No, you're not bad students. Guess what the title for that mistake is? Yeah, unclear, vague. So it might be something like keeping the right foot in place, cross the left leg over the right so that the thighs are touching, no space between your legs. Keeping your right foot in contact with the floor, tilt both knees to the right. That would be an alternative. A lot of detail there, but it's very clear, isn't it? Right? No, because there's no, that's where we don't want variation. And that's, as we talked about in the ATM on Monday, when we did this ATM Monday, there's a reason why we have the legs crossed like this, because we want the hip joints to disappear. Okay? So this movement can't be predominantly in the hip joints. There's a little bit in the hip joints. Okay, that's good. All right, all right. Lying on your back, move your hand up. So some people have got their hand up relative to the ceiling. Other people have got their hand up relative to their head. So up in this instance is not that clear. So this is called a what sort of mistake? Orientation. Yeah, direction. So are we directing you relative to you? You know, where you're the point of reference. So above you, above your head, or above you towards the ceiling. So that therefore, it says here, you know, what would be better with moving your hand up. If up is relative to you, lying on your back, move your hand up above your head, resting your arm along the floor. We could say as if reaching overhead, but then it uses your head as a reference. Okay. Right. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. 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 I'll repeat what you said, Sylvia, so that the others can hear it. Sylvia had the interpretation. I can totally see why. Move your hand up. So she moved her hand, like turning her hand around, like there had to be movement of the hand, you know, relative to the forearm, because that's moving your hand, as opposed to, that's a very different thing to lengthening your arm above your head, isn't it? Which is actually what the instruction was after. And so that word move does elicit something. That's actually a really good point. It's the wrong word, right? You know, it would be bring your hand above your head, take your hand above the head. It doesn't, yeah. Yeah, that's the direction I'm repeating. And isn't it marvellous that someone who's got English as a third language is so good at interpreting the language? Thank you very much, third English language speaker. This is terrific. So here's another one. So you got your knees bent up. Move your right leg to the side. Notice what happens at your knee. Does your hip respond? And your back. How are you breathing? Where are your eyes? Are you moving smoothly? Yeah, too much. No time to follow the instructions. Too much to notice. Now, you might often feel like that even when we're teaching nicely, because it is a lot. You do learn to filter. So you could use the same language there, like move your right knee to the right. Give you time to digest. And continue to do it, and as you move your leg, notice what happens at your hip or in your hip. Pause. Allow your attention to move to your lower back and notice any influence to move to your lower back. Begin to notice if you have timed the movement of the leg with your breathing. For example, do you take your leg out as you breathe in as you breathe out, or the other way around? What do you do? The breathing actually needs to give people quite time, and they're not used to it. Experience, but giving you an idea of the pause. And then the final instruction was, is the movement smooth throughout the whole range? There's some parts that are smoother than others. Yeah, and for a small percentage of people in the room, that is too slow. For a small percentage, it's still too fast. You're just hoping that, the middle 50% of people, the Goldilocks people, it's kind of just right. Yep, does that make sense? So pausing between instructions. Okay, bend your knees up. Take your knees a little bit to the right and to the left. So just start that movement. Okay, now here's the thing. Don't move a lot, move slowly. That's the instruction. What's the heading for that one? Oh, don't, yeah, yep, don't. Yes, actually that's not on the sheet, but you're quite right. Don't. How did that feel when I said don't move a lot? Yeah. You might even catch a tiny little visceral reaction that the teacher's telling you not to do something again. It will mean that some of you really go complying because you don't want to be the naughty child. In other words, we'll go, well, fuck you, but you tell me what not to do. Maybe. So there's that. The other thing is that saying don't move a lot, the title of that one is failure to calibrate. Move slowly. You don't know what you're doing. You might have to give an example like only move a tiny bit. Let's say no more than 20% of what you could do. You give them a yardstick, in other words. You give them some kind of benchmark. Or something like start with the slowest movement you can do. Start with a movement that I can't even see you doing. so small and so slow, that kind of thing. You give them a some way of calibrating. Does that make sense? And you would do that in response to people moving too much or too fast or something like that. Okay. And notice the feeling of emptiness in your abdomen. So there, there's a lot of that. And the point about this one is that it's making the distinction before you've introduced it. So I haven't asked you to feel whether your abdomen feels full or not. I mean, there is the funny part about being after lunch, your abdomen full. But I've made an assumption about it, and you haven't got any baseline for that, have you? Like, you didn't know whether it felt full or not before, and I certainly didn't know whether it felt full or not before. I didn't ask you to feel it. You've got nothing to compare it to. So better would be, what's the sense of your abdomen? And there's something here, like on a scale of completely empty to completely full, where would you place your face? That kind of thing. So it's really open, not assuming. Okay, continue to roll your legs left and right. And not like that. Not like that. You have to have your legs like that. So I think you got that one. Correcting unnecessarily. Okay, now if somebody is really efforting, you can, if it's safe to do it, and we talked a little bit about this, using exaggeration. We'll sometimes do, let's say you're all rotating your knees left and right a little bit. I notice that somebody's holding their breath, and I've said things like, notice, I've directed people's attention to their breath, about breathing in, breathing out. They're still holding their breath. So then what I can do, if it's safe, it would be safe to do this, probably. So, okay, everybody hold their breath. As you take your knees to the right and the left, so breathe in first, hold your breath, and now move your legs to the right and the left. And everybody do that. So we exaggerate the thing that we have noticed, that none of our other kind of positive statements, positive noticing, positive requests, positive queries have changed in that person. We can get everybody to do it. That then gives them, they really have to know that they're doing it because I've asked them to do it. Yeah? So the same thing is if someone is taking the knees, bang, 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 left and right like a windscreen wiper, and I've done all the other things about go half as slow or half as fast again, and they're still going bang, 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 bang. So everybody go as fast as you can, and now slow it down by half. And then that will catch them up. So these are tricks. Or another thing, you might have heard us say this, maybe not. You could say something like, notice what you're doing and exaggerate it. Like, do it badly. So if it's really bumpy or something like that, exaggerate it. You do it badly. You work out what a bad job would be if you do that. You heard us say that before? Yeah. Okay. Now this is something, I won't read this out because I can't example, but this is a classic from an ATM like yesterday, where there is, as Philippa kind of pointed out, that the end goal is not known and there's this slow reveal. That there is, because you know what it is, and I really badly want you to roll up to it, because I know what it is. And I'm not, as a teacher, I've got a bit of ego about this. I just want you to feel this because it's so yummy. So that I make the slow reveal, I don't give you space to reveal it for yourself. So I tell you everything about it. And I don't think I need to labour that point because some of you came up with that yesterday. That your desire for a person to have the experience means you can overteach it. over prompt it so that they don't get that surprise. And actually, when you start teaching ATMs like that, one of the loveliest moments is when you've left a big gap like that and all these little heads pop up off the floor with this look of surprise. It's like a bunch of meerkats. And you can see on people's faces, like, how the hell did I get up? Now, if you take that moment away from people by describing it, as a teacher, you won't get that satisfaction of seeing somebody discover it for themselves. So you learn to, so I've still got an ego, but now my ego is more invested. Seeing your own personal surprise and delight at discovering something for yourself. Okay. So teaching the movement and wanting the students to get it. That's the common. When you're teaching a movement, really wanting the student to get it. That's my ego. I want you to all get the kata. I want you so badly to be able to come up from the floor in one big movement. And if you don't, then I'm a failure. That's kind of a dialogue, really. Yeah. And for me to be satisfied with your level of satisfaction, and that to be a mutual thing. I was talking with one of you at lunch, where the sign of success for that movement was actually, no, I've got a bit of pain, I'm not doing it at all. That's the sign of success, and to feel really good about that decision, because maybe that's your habit. Oh, well, I'll ignore the pain and just soldier on. Actually, no, this time I'm going to listen. Got this pain, it's a familiar thing, I'm going to not do any. That's the sign of success. And as a teacher, you have to allow that success as well, not be ambitious. Yeah. Okay. With the knees bent up, move the right leg and notice what the hip does and the pelvis. Does it move too? Does the back move? What do you think? Sorry? Feeding? Something, yeah? Something else about direction, yeah? Move the leg. Move the right leg. Now, probably, actually, what you're not picking up here is the fact that this is a mistake that I maybe do a lot. So I've depersonalized. It's like the leg. It's not your leg. Move your leg. So again, sense the difference in yourself. If I say move your leg, move your right leg. Move the right leg. Play with it in your mind. Move your right leg. Move the right leg. Yeah. The breath. Yeah. Her habit. Yeah. 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 That's a good example. Try that. So if I say, notice the breath. And notice your breath. Yeah. Yeah. So Mark's reaction was, which breath? And he's pointing in different directions. But you might not have heard Chelsea's comment was that this came from her yoga teacher. So her yoga teacher was saying, notice the breath, whatever. And Mark's response was the breath, and it took you outside of yourself in a way. You're looking somewhere else. Yeah? In different people. Yeah. Yeah. Chelsea. Maybe. Yep. Yep. So you could, so the objectification might be useful. As it's the breath. Okay, another take on it. What's not like what's your internal experience when those words land on you? That's kind of the point here. Some of you will raise antibodies, and some of you can get a crash. Doesn't make any difference. It's like the word try. Try and notice your breath. So in our kind of thing, try has an element of effort. Go and try harder. Try harder again, like really try. That's where it goes to. But I've caught myself saying try quite a lot this week. I'm very trying. Not necessarily negative. Have a crack. Yeah. If it's yeah, that's right. If you said try in that kind of have a crack way, try hard is yeah. 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 You're trying my patience. I'm not trying. Yeah. Try it out. Yeah. Have a, yeah. 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 You'd get away with it. Okay. Yeah. 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 It's okay. All right. Intent. Attempt. It's not a word that I like, but I'm happy to entertain it. Explore is a word that we use a lot. Yeah. 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 We often are just more instructional, like let take your knees to the right, take them to the left, like that, and then we'll do that's the movement itself, and then there's the awareness stuff of notice. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of things around what sensory words we use. So we most often use the word notice because it's sensorially neutral, meaning it's not seeing, it's not tactile, it's not hearing the movement, not proprioceptive. It's just it is directing your attention and using whatever sense you like. So it's not prescriptive around the sense. We might say feel sometimes, but feel in other contexts in Southern class feel is feelings as in emotions. Feel is a possibility. Certainly if you say, see the way your weight shift goes over your feet, that's bullshit, that's nonsense. You can't. Huh? He's a bit, yeah, he's a bit more. Jenny told me the other day to see where the auditory was better. Just thought I'd dump you in there, Jen. She was teasing me. Did I? Yeah. Yeah, it was a good story. We did laugh when I said that. And I just thought, so, all right, so there's thinking about that. Think about something, ask people to think about it, so that's using the imagination. That's okay. However, thinking about it doesn't mean doing it physically, so you might have to say, okay, now go ahead and do it. Yeah, I think they're the main things. Anybody got anything else that? Yeah. 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 Yes. Sure. Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. 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 Oh, okay. Meat. Okay. Yep. 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 Yeah. Yep. Mm. Yep. Yep. Everybody. Yeah, no, you're not. Yeah, yeah. It's easier. Yeah, 'cause we don't have the. I only know French two. You know, the two versus the do sort of stuff, or in German as well, isn't it? Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's one. There's very few bonuses, especially that's one of the bonuses that we don't have to. You know, the polite and the familiar, or the singular and the plural. Yeah, 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 yeah. To the person, yeah, yeah, you, yeah, maybe, yeah. Now, there's something else as I'm walking around. I'm aware that. How do you feel when I walk past you? If you have the same stalking path uh, up and down the room, do you like that or not like it? Does it make you feel seen, or do you feel like, oh my God, the jail warden is passing, and I have to behave myself? So is that a mistake to walk up and down the room, or do you feel seen, or what's the story? What's your reaction? It could go either way, couldn't it? You might need to think about it. Yes, 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 yes. Some people don't like it when they open their eyes and you're looking at them. Other people really like it when they know that they're being seen. So be aware of that. If you're the sort of person that likes to be seen and that makes you feel safe, that's great. Understand that that's your response. Because other people, they'll open their eyes and see you looking at them and they'll freak out. And then they'll be inhibited. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we very rarely are looking at their eyes. We are looking at them. But still, that like you go ahead and you just roll your knees left and right. And how do you feel if I'm standing like this? Because you'll see us doing this. We'll be standing going, what the hell? Or, but no, you don't know whether we're going, what the hell, or going, oh, that's beautiful, because we're just standing there doing it, looking like this. You don't know what we're thinking, so you get paranoid. Yeah, so keep moving, but go like there was one teacher who would walk up and down like this, the same path, so it's stalking and fast. So that's not going to work, is it? Of course, they're yeah. I often do sit, and for some people that's really annoying because I don't feel seen if they're at the back of them. Or it makes the people at the front not want to be there. So there's one training downstairs. It's hideous because I do often just sit. And that whole floor space ends up being empty in front of me because nobody wants to lie right next to my feet because I don't want to be seen. To leave the gap. Oh, right. Yeah, there's no right or wrong with those things. You'll find your style and understand the influence that may have both directions. Any other things that really you either love or hate or something? The teacher has their eyes closed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep your eyes open. Yeah, and keep your eyes off your iPhone. Another tip. Nothing worse than students opening their eyes and finding the teacher's room and realizing that they're or their Facebook or something. When I look at my phone, because if I haven't got my watch on, it's at my time, but I would like to think that I'm not Facebook. I don't know Facebook anyway, but I'd like to think I'm not Facebook. any other things? We'll move on if there's no other. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Yep. Yep. So some people need the repetition, and you felt seen, and you got more. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Now, so repetition is good, and there are special ways of doing it. Now, what was your response when I just repeated myself exactly the same? Lie on your mat. Lie on your mat. Lie on your mat. Lie on your mat. And you all got quite, like, shut up, we heard you. So you might need to do it in slightly different ways. If you're going to, I agree with you, repetition is good, because if someone's not getting it, try and say it in a slightly different way. Yeah. 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 So you can find a different way, unless it's just simply that they didn't hear you. And then you can say the same word. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing wrong with repetition. Just understanding what it's for. Like vision. Or revision. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 So especially when there's a multi-part thing. Yeah. Coordinating more things. Yeah. 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 So yeah, I think it's a great conversation. Repetition is good. It can be a force for good. It can be a force for evil. Play around with it, and this is where the responsiveness comes in. How you repeat, if you repeat, and how you repeat, is you responding to what you're seeing on the floor. That people are actually, they need it. Now, if you keep repeating something and everybody's doing it, it's really irritating. Like shut up. So it's all these are little tiny decisions that you make. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yep. Oh, okay. I immediately realised what I think about that with saying that. Yeah. Did everyone hear the question? Like what would be the usefulness of not using names? Now, sometimes I will do it here because I know you will, and rather than me, if I can see somebody's got their right leg over their left leg, and I really want everybody's right leg, and then one person's got their left leg over their right, I might sort of just say generic, right, let me say it again, or repeat it. Then if I notice that you haven't tweaked, I'll say Chelsea. Yeah. So otherwise, no. It's the group, the group thing. Or if I don't know your name, which is highly likely, then I'll just quietly go up and say, "Are you okay to put your right leg over your? Do you know that you've got your left leg over your right?" And I'll just do it quietly off. All right, is that enough? You satisfied now? You're a bit sleepy, aren't you? Don't wake us up. So because what I'm thinking is, OMG, guess what ATM I'm teaching? Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jen. Jenny just said one of the lessons that really brings out your alertness. Okay. So I risk it. Line your back.